Rugby, a quote says, rugby is a hooligan's game played by gentlemen. We have 29 gentlemen this year. A great bunch of boys. That's a testament to the teachers, the parents, the staff, past coaches. Great job. It was a pleasure to teach. Doug Conrad, Norm Fortier, Shane Brennan, John Evans, good to be here tonight. I'll go back to what Greg Robinson said earlier tonight. I couldn't have done it without Kevin Young. Kevin and I were on our way to Florenceville to watch the boys play hockey one night, and I said, you know what, I wouldn't mind coaching the rugby team if I had a good liaison. Kevin said, I'll do that. We went from 16 players last year to 29 this year. Fantastic. It was a tough job getting 29 in. Kevin held him accountable. He got his rugby ball, he got his jersey, his socks. I called Kevin and he says, okay, got it. And that night will be done. So it was just fantastic. My daughter asked me tonight before I come here, she said, what was your record? I said, I don't know. Yeah, beat Frederick High School. But I sat up there and thought about the numbers, and we were 4-6-1. But first exhibition game, we were playing Fundy. Our first pre-game talk was, guys, let's peak at the right time. There's no sense peaking right now, let's peak at the end of the season. We brought that back up the middle of the year. We kept talking about it. We were that close. We were up on Hampton 10-7 with the referee put his watch away for a few minutes, waiting for the last play to happen. The last play had to be a penalty. They kicked the penalty, tied it up, and went to kicks. So we lost Higgy. I feel your pain. we went on kicks. So, but it was a great year. In my mind, we peaked at the right time. The boys played fantastic. They played great rugby. We could have used Jaden Royce, even though he got concussed in volleyball. We thought tonight, we said we'd get a little bit of tradition going on here again in rugby. And we started the first year naming the man of the match every night. And that's a rugby tradition. Who's the player of the game, man of the match? Part of history of rugby as well is drinking out of your rugby boot. I have and somebody brought that up to do that. So I have a picture of myself holding my rugby boot, feeding Ali Nordstrom cold beer after a Maritime final in 1992. He was my hooker. So the boys decided that they were going to drink from the boot every game. I remember Wyoming took one game. Couldn't hurt us speaking English. I said to YL after he drank from the boot, because it wasn't necessarily the whole body of the game, it was maybe something significant happened that game, and YL made a great tackle. I said, did you drink out of the boot? Yeah, I was. He said, beautiful. Every game they did the man of the match. So, and we had 11 games. I think we had 11 different man of the match. But we said, okay, who is the guy that we couldn't play without? Critical points of the game. What do you need? And our man of the match, game in, game out, was Jay Torrey. Jay's mother said those delicate long fingers come in handy for something. It was lineup. Back to tradition a little bit. When we were the Swines in men's rugby, we went from calling ourselves the Charlotte County Saints to the Swines, because we were getting a little gritty. We needed to change the name. I was watching Monday Night Football or something one day, and John Madden said a linebacker's got to be agile, mobile, hostile. And I said, I'm an acronym guy, and I moved them around, and that was HAM, hostile, agile, mobile. Loved it. Fit the swine, fit the pig, everything worked well. We said this year, who was the guy you wouldn't want to play against? Who is that guy on the field every day? And this guy was pain. He was Zwicks, Haley Valaire. I I had. He was a pain, but we butted heads in Leo Hayes. I appreciated him. I said to him after we butted heads, I said, good for you. Good for your teammates. I just given it to him for 15 minutes, him and the whole group, but he spoke up and it was great. But he was a guy that you hate to play against. He's the Blake Young of hockey. You'd want to kill him by the time the game was over, but you couldn't because he was everywhere. Our hostile, agile, mobile, tough nut with Jordan McLaughlin. So then we thought of our Coaches Award. So we said, you know what are we going to call it? And in the late 80s, early 90s, we had a catalyst. And the catalyst was from everything from making phone calls, to organizing games, to lining fields, you name it, he did it. He played every position you wanted him to play. With Sandy McGetchie, Jimmy knows Sandy well, and we said we're going to call this the Sandy McGetchie Award because he was the after Mike Bronson, he was the next guy. He was the guy that come on, and Sandy told me today, he said, make sure you mention Bronson because if not for him, I wouldn't be doing it. Sandy played everywhere. I asked him, I said, give me a little history, and he says, well, I started at scrum half, went to flanker, then to stand up, but he said it was more wherever the coach wanted me to play. And we had that guy. We had the guy that played everywhere we wanted to play, but we also had the guy, I saw this kid in grade 6, I think, with Colin. And as soon as I saw the first game I saw him, I said, that kid is a rugby player. He just, at that time, he didn't, it wasn't the athletic ability, it was just the understanding of the game, where he was all the time. And this year we moved him around, moved everybody around. There was a bunch of guys that really made this happen. We kept moving guys around, but he was the guy that I think is the most dangerous. And for us, the luxury is he's a great nine. He can play wherever he wanted, and I think I just can't wait to see him grow. Kyle Stewart is our Sandy McGetchie. Boys, I had a blast. Thank you very much.